from Schollmeyer Arena here in Fort Worth. It's time for Big 12 volleyball. This afternoon, the TCU Horned Frogs host the Rice Owls in the Horned Frog Invitational. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Chuck Lomadola along with Katie Carter here courtside for this final match of the Horned Frog Invitational. And today it'll be TCU taking on Rice. For the Horned Frogs, they're looking to have a perfect non-conference season. For Rice, they're looking for a big win against the top 25 program.
Definitely, and I really think for TCU, it's also about keeping the momentum from the tournament. You know, this is their third match of the tournament. This is only Rice's second match of the tournament. So for Rice, it's going to be, you know, more of a fresh game for them. They're really a strong pin hitter team. So that's going to be the challenge for TCU.
As we look ahead at today's matches, who are your spotlight players?
So for the Owls, sophomore outside hitter Cindy Changwa, she is a big contributor, one of the pin hitters like I just mentioned. She had 15 kills over the UT Arlington win yesterday, and her athleticism is quite tremendous. So just a player to kind of key in on and expect a lot of sets going to her as well. And for TCU, Jalen Gibson, we spoke about her last night going into the match. She's really stepped up her game for the Horned Frogs. 11 kills versus their win over Denver and 15 against UT Arlington. So a big contributor for the Horned Frogs. An impressive 6 rotation opposite hitter as well, which is kind of a rarity. So keep your eye on her. Also, great back row attack, so something I enjoy.
Get a look at Jason Williams, the TCU head coach, looking to sweep the Horned Frog Invitational here. They've won 4 of the last 5 matches, all of them coming via the sweep. And, you know, he has to be very happy with what he's seen from his team so far this season, here at home especially.
Well, definitely. And with Jason Williams and coach Jenny Volpe, this being their last preseason match before heading into those conference match play, it's a pretty big match for just having a great feeling starting off the season that way, and let's see what they can do right now.
Rice with the serve, Nina McCardle with the first service of the match, and that one a little bit long on the swing by Melanie Parra. Parra was a little off yesterday, at least in terms of what we've seen before. She only had 12 kills on Tuesday night, and then 8 last night, so it's not been the Horned Frog Invitational that we kind of expected her to have. But you know what? 2-time National Player of the Week. You know it's in there and you know it's coming.
And she can have a night off.
Yes.
Becca Kelly and Jalen Gibson made sure of that.
Knocked over the net after the block landed in the lap of Robertson. There's a swing on the outside by Kat Jensen, the transfer out of Boston College. And
Katrina Jensen had 15 kills yesterday against UT Arlington. Coach Volpe mentioned she's done a great job. She hadn't played a ton prior to yesterday, but she said she definitely wanted to start her today and just see if she can continue that performance.
The freshman Thea Carter with the serve for Rice. They set the outside, going to the tip. Nice job by Nicholson to dig that one out. Bump set on the other side, and that one off the block of TCU, and another point for Kat Jensen.
And a very risky swing, might I add, just a really high out-of-system bump set. She had to kind of go and take a big swing of it. You can see here her teammate Sam Hill just had to kind of Hail Mary it.
Melanie Parra with her first kill of the afternoon.
And you know, we were talking about this just before the match, Chuck. It's hard to play, you know, so many games in 1 week. And then it's also hard to just, for the Horned Frogs, keep their mentality, keep that fast pace, keep that, you know, I guess motivation. You know, it's hard to have fire on day 3 of a tournament.
Another kill there by Jensen on the outside as they set her on the backside.
And you know, every set for the Owls has been to Jensen, so it's good idea to get her in the game early.
Gibson with the back row attack, dug out by the Rice Owls. Bramschreiber with a great dig on that hard swing. And Rice, with the help of the tape, picks up another point, and the Rice Owls off to a 5-2 lead. We saw this yesterday in the first set. TCU took a little while to get things going. And right now, Rice dominating play. Bramschreiber has to dive to save that one. There's Jalen Gibson out of the back row for TCU. Gibson had a really nice match yesterday. Had 15 kills earlier in the week against UTA. Followed that up with 11 last night and 9 digs.
And a lot of her kills last night were from the back row. So that back row attack that you just saw Jalen Gibson, it's hitting behind the 10-foot line. I almost said 3 meter. I don't know what country I'm in right now. But, you know, back row attack, you got to stay behind the 10-foot line. And it's such a great asset if you can have a hitter that is effective out of the back row. So you'll see that from Jalen Gibson and from Melanie Parra.
Melanie Parra with the ace. That was her 17th ace of the year. Those are the top spin serve. Another tough ball handled by Mansfield. And then the kill by Samara Hill. And Samara Hill, and 14 kills yesterday against UTA, comes up with a big one here on that swing down the line.
And, you know, if there's something that I just love, it's an out-of-system high ball bump set and a hitter able to just take a swing like you saw Sam Hill do. And, you know, take a look at the Rice setter as well, Savannah Scopel. She's going to deliver some nice balls tonight.
Speaking of nice balls, there's one from Becca Kelly, the TCU redshirt freshman, who had a great match last night. Gets things started here this afternoon as well.
And Becca Kelly loves that sharp angle attack. I'm pretty sure that's her bread and butter. She has not told me that, so I can't be 100%. But just from watching her, it's kind of her natural swing. She loves hitting that shot.
Right with the point off of the violation for TCU. I'm not sure what the referee saw. I don't know if it clipped the blocking error on Becca Kelly. Melanie Parra, back row attack down the pipe, but hits it long.
And I think, you know, definitely Melanie Parra is a player that Lily Nicholson and Coach Williams want to get warmed up, get her in the game, get her feeling good, and so she can play her game.
Goes to the tip here and scores. Well, that's just good recognition by Parra, coming from the back row and just tipped it into wide open space.
Well, and that's the volleyball IQ that you hear us talk about a lot with Melanie Parra. So not only seeing that opening and then executing it, but also realizing, hey, my last swing I made an error, so I'm gonna do something different this time.
Nicholson with the backside set for Gibson, and Gibson just powers that off the block.
And that's that fast offense that Jason Williams wants his team to play. And, you know, you see Jalen Gibson, she's kind of off her footing a little bit, but the Rice blockers are flying by. She's able to score a point.
Punched in the air by Nicholson and batted over by Sylvester. Rice goes to the middle. There's the block. Sylvester was right there on the swing by Thea Carter in the middle.
And I think if I was a hitter and I had Sylvester just directly in front of me, I would pick a side. I think I would not want to get it at all near the front of her block.
That one off the hands of the TCU blockers on the sharp cross court kill. It's been a long week for us too.
I was just gonna say, so let's throw a tongue twister, and it's our, you know, third match. Chuck's fourth sporting event play-by-play this week. So
yes. One more to go tomorrow.
Yep.
There's the set to the middle, and Gibson again. Boy, I'll tell you what, Melanie Gibson is, Jalen Gibson rather, is really, you know, stepping it up over the last couple of games. Melanie Parra, you know, basically putting the team on her shoulders early, but last few matches it's been Gibson and Becca Kelly who's serving here. Good job of timing that block by TCU. There's Melanie Parra, and that one off the hands of the Rice blockers. They were there. Melanie Parra picking up her third kill of the match.
And Parra, she's gonna find a way to score, so she sees the blocker's hands there. She does that flat, deep swing on purpose because she wants to get that blocker touch.
Set to the outside, nice dig by Bramschreiber on the overpass. It was won by Sylvester. Gibson and Sylvester with the block there. Good rally by both teams here. Gibson again with a big swing. Rice able to come up with it. What a great job by both teams so far, and it's batted over. Kept alive. Can they get it over? They do. Bramschreiber again to the ground. Melanie Parra. And TCU will win the point. That was a lengthy rally and some great defense on both sides.
And I'm just looking at Seth Bramschreiber right now for the Horned Frogs. How many times did she hit the floor throughout that rally? And, you know, I'd like to know her heart rate right now, too, just running all over the ground, going down to the floor, getting up, playing the ball again. And then, of course, Melanie Parra able to finish that and lure kind of that net call for the Owls.
Kelly with another good serve here. Nicholson with the dig. Bramschreiber will bump set it for Parra. Rice sets the middle, and again it's blocked. Gibson, nice dig by Rice, and they get it over. Great job back there by Jensen to get it over the net as she was going into the crowd. That one off the net. TCU had the block there, but it never made it to the hands of Jalen Gibson.
That's right, and you know, the Horned Frog blockers that you can see, Sarah Sylvester, she kind of cheated that way. She knew that's where the set was going. It was an out-of-system ball, so it was an easy read. I think Ncaa just wanted to kind of drive that ball more straight down and ended up clipping the tape.
Set in the middle, and that time Rice able to score the point. Kat Jensen. 13 kills earlier this year against UNLV for a season high. Picks up her fourth in this match.
Definitely the hot hitter for the Owls right now. So you can see how she elevates there. Nice high swing with that big block, big TCU block in front of her.
Nicholson again sets Gibson. Owls do a great job, and they pick up the point.
Well, I wonder who the Owls are going to go to for the rest of the set. I don't know. Gosh, Jensen hitting 600. It's a spectacular hitting percentage. 0 errors. You can see just how she gets off the ground. That's what's really catching my eye, is that athleticism for Katrina Jensen.
And she tools that one off the block. And Jensen now with 5 kills.
And she's well on her way to having a performance like she did yesterday against UT Arlington with 15 kills.
There's a service error on Rice. That's their second of the match. Well, Jensen played for Boston College for 4 years. Had a career high 30 kills back in 2022 against LIU. So she certainly can score. Rice has done a nice job on the defensive end, and they'll pick up a point here.
Nice recognition there by Samara Hill. She saw she had a big block up. The Horned Frog defense definitely releasing on her, expecting just a big swing, not able to get to that campfire tip from her.
Tied at 13. Nicholson sets the outside. That was a little off, but Power able to get it over. And there's the big swing by Melanie Parra.
And that's just it. You kind of hear that crack behind that whip of a swing by Parra, and it just really, you know, emphasizes her ability. I mean, hey, she was kind of flat yesterday, warming up a little bit, and then, you know, she's made her stand here now.
6 kills for Parra. There's the block, kept alive by Rice. Volpe diving for that ball, and we should mention that her mother is the coach of the Rice Owls.
And, you know, I love the hustle here. First of all, the splits by Bramscheiber, and then the hustle by Volpe. Unable to return the Katrina Jensen heat.
That one tooled off the block by Melanie Parra. Timeout on the court. TCU leading Rice by a point here in the first set. We'll be back with more of the first set after this quick timeout.
Mama, I will protect you. Do you need? Ready?
The Wild Robot is 100% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
Mama, I will protect you. To survive, we must become more than we were programmed to be.
The Wild Robot is a cinematic achievement on every level and the best animated movie of the year.
How would you rate my performance? I will register that as a 10.
The Wild Robot, rated PG, in theaters Friday.
Did you know that if you shave, 1/3 of what you remove is skin? New Dove deodorant helps repair it. So if you shave it, Dove it. New Dove. Replenish your skin after every shave.
Some of the families enjoying a Saturday afternoon match. Saturday dinner time, I guess. It's not really afternoon anymore. Late afternoon? Can we call it?
Well, if you're a toddler, this might be night. I mean, it's getting to be dinner time. I know my little babies at home are going to eat dinner right about now. So yeah, it's a night.
Us little big babies need dinner too.
Exactly right. That doesn't matter.
Melanie Parra with the big serve. The set to the outside, and Bramscheiber was there to dig it, but TCU called for a net violation.
And Sam Hill just elevates on that. She hits a great area of the court. I mean, it's right at Bramscheiber, but how about that heat?
Becca Kelly had it blocked. Nicholson goes to the Parra on the pipe. Nicholson again, back row attack by Gibson, and there's just too much behind that swing as she just powers it off the block, and by the time it ends up, it's in the crowd.
Well, yeah, I mean, great swing by Gibson. Take a look at the forehead of middle blocker Caitlin Kenobi for Rice. So sometimes that'll happen. You know, these blockers are so high over the net, and sometimes they get a face shot.
Service error, first of the match against TCU. Back to serve, Gabby Mansfield, the junior out of Houston. There's Melanie Parra, dug out nicely by Rice. They go to the tip in the middle as that ball was a little off target. Carter with the tip, they go to the outside. Bramscheiber does a good job to keep it in the air. And that one off the hands of Thea Carter, the freshman out of San Antonio. She was there. She just mistimed her jump in the middle.
And I think it was a great recognition by Sylvester. Just, you know, she wasn't fully, Gibson, she wasn't fully ready to swing on that ball. But one thing previously, and this is something to look at moving forward, TCU loves to triple block. So if it's a high ball set for Rice on the outside, you're going to see 3 blockers out there, which is really tough to do.
Nicholson, that set was behind Gibson. Still able to get it over, and a big swing on the back row attack that time by Rice.
And, you know, I'm really loving the heat from Rice on the pin. So Sam Hill is a big part of that. And Rice running their back row as well. So it's a little bit of a game of just answering back here. You know, TCU running their back row, Rice running their back row. But lots of heat on both sides.
Speaking of, Becca Kelly just slammed that ball into the court. I mean, there was nothing subtle about that swing.
I mean, snap down, throw down, bringing extreme heat. I mean, look at her face, look at her arm. God, spectacular swing by Becca Kelly.
And Gabby Mansfield was there, but actually pretty fortunate she didn't get in the way of it.
Definitely.
On the overpass, Rice with the block. That was Carter. They set the outside and Toole off the block. Nice swing. Kat Jensen, another kill for her. And she's having herself an afternoon.
And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised. She recognized that set was tight. You can see how she drops her left shoulder and just kind of aims for the pin, for anywhere outside the court, and lures that Toole off the block.
Parr just has to slap it over the net after that ball was behind her. Bump set to the outside for Melanie Parra. Nice dig on the back row by Rice. And TCU comes up with a point on the scramble.
And I think that might be number 12, Katrina Jensen, for the Owls. Her very first error of the match so far, so not too shabby, but you see Melanie Parra there just able to hang in the air for a few seconds and throw that ball down.
Weichelt with the serve. And there's another ball, Toole off the block. And again, it's Jensen.
And it's impressive. I mean, I was an opposite, so I'm going to really like opposites whenever I talk about them. It's so respectable because they're hitting a lot of balls that the libero is setting. So a lot of the junk goes to the opposite. It's traditionally the opposite's job to kind of fix those kind of sets. And, you know, Katrina Jensen is doing just that for the Owls.
Bumped to Parra. There's the overpass, and Roberson got it, but they're going to say that she committed a net violation, reaching all the way over.
Right, so Roberson, at that point, if you're over the net, you're interfering with the play of the Owls, and in this case, the setter for the Owls, Caitlin Kenobi, is front row. Excuse me, now she's front row. She was back row. So yeah, when the setter's back row, you got to be careful about that. You get called on an over.
2020. You know, Rice giving TCU everything they can handle here in the first set. There's the set to the outside, and that one again, Toole off the block. Samara Hill with the kill.
And a really smart play, and we've seen this a few times from the Owls, is just kind of the outside hitter dropping their left shoulder, aiming for the stands. They want to get a Toole kill, and in this case, setter Lily Nicholson is front row, so you'll tend to see players key on the setter.
Melanie Parra evens things up with that big swing.
And, you know, just nonchalantly bounces the ball and then walks back to go serve. I think, you know, in Melanie Parra's head, she's just she's just being normal right now. And for all of us, our jaws are just dropping to the floor. I mean, amazing.
Side out, and a service error by Melanie Parra.
And I like that it's a good miss. I mean, I think she had a great connection on that serve, really good toss. I think she was going for that area on the court just a little bit wide.
Hill back to serve for the Owls on the overpass. In the middle, Kenobi with the kill for Rice, the SMU transfer. And timeout taken as TCU finds himself down 23-21 here in the first set.
So it's definitely time for TCU if they want to come back in this set and feel comfortable for the rest of the match. I think to match the fire of Rice in general. TCU does not have the same motivation and I think all around collective play, I guess, as Rice is showing right now.
We take a look at the Rice bench. They played extremely well so far in this match. On the other side, you can see Jason Williams trying to conduct a clinic over there. The defensive trio for the Horned Frogs entering today, Bramschreiber, Gibson, and Nicholson. You see what they've done and where they stand in the league. Bramschreiber first in the league in digs, and digs per set. Gibson second, and Nicholson third. So defensively, TCU's been playing really well here through the first part of the year.
Well, and position-wise, so Bramschreiber is the libero, so it's it's expected, it's normal that she's going to lead in digs. And Nicholson as a setter, most setters are really defensively strong as well. But Gibson, that's what I spoke about earlier, just to have an opposite player that can contribute out of the back row defensively. So a lot of opposite players that maybe they're 6'6" or something, and they've never been, defense has never been their strong point. But Jalen Gibson is such an asset because of her ball control, and then you throw in the back row attack. It's just a great, Coach Williams has spoke about this before. Hey, I can look at my team and I know I have so many options, and then I can look at my bench and I know I have so many options, and that's a feeling that is great to have as a coach.
Big point coming up right here. If you're TCU, you don't want to get to set point if you can avoid it, obviously. Gibson able to save it. Quick set in the middle. And it's set point for Rice as Kenobi comes up with a kill.
And I think Kenobi may have had that kind of premeditated throwdown tip maybe that they talked about in the timeout just now. It just looked way too easy.
Nicholson sets Becca Kelly, and that will do it as Rice will take the first set from TCU on the outside that time. Kenobi again with the kill.
And, a solid defensive effort by Rice and a solid serving effort by Rice as well. So definitely game plan has worked for Rice in this first set, getting TCU into serve receive trouble, which you can see there. It doesn't really work out offensively when you cannot run your offense and set multiple hitters.
We'll take a timeout and come back with the second set right after this. Rice on top. It's 1-0.
There are those who see the world through a different lens, who take risks, who are willing to make a stand. Because trails, they aren't blazed by the timid, but by the bold. For 150 years, TCU has been creating the next generation of leaders. To think audaciously, care compassionately, lead heroically. And now, it's our turn, our time to lead on.
Frog fans, the 2024 volleyball season is here, and we're fired up to start the season off with a bang. You won't want to miss out as your Horned Frogs host big matches against UCLA, Arizona State, Baylor, Houston, and many more. We'll be bringing the action all season long at Schollmeyer Arena. So purchase season or single game tickets today by visiting gofrogs.com.
The 2024 soccer season is here, and you won't want to miss a minute of the action. Join us as we kick off the TCU fall sports season with excitement and energy. This year, we're gearing up for thrilling home matches against top-tier opponents. Get ready for an unforgettable season of goals and glory at Garvey Rosenthal Soccer Stadium. Be a part of the excitement. Secure your season or single game tickets today at gofrogs.com.
Back inside Schollmeyer Arena, you get a good look at Jenny Volpe, the head coach of the Rice Owls, and she's done a terrific job. She's been at Rice for 21 years, 8 NCAA appearances. The last time was in 2022. You see the overall record there. If the Owls win today, it will be her 400th career win. She holds the program record for career wins. We asked her earlier, you know, she must have had opportunities to leave, and she said, no, I just love Rice and love Houston, so no sense in going anywhere.
And, you know, not to mention her daughter, Alice Volpe, who's a DS for the Horned Frogs, you know, was doing great in playing high school volleyball down in Houston, and so she wanted to not only stay at Rice because of that, but also just because she just said, I love everything that Rice is about. I mean, I've never had to deal with any discipline problems with my players. Just the whole shebang, academic, athletics, and you can see Alice Volpe there. I think when we were talking to Coach Volpe, Alice walked by and just kind of did the L on the forehead to her mom, you know, like, you're gonna lose, Mom, but hey, maybe that was it. Maybe that's what did it for the Horned Frogs in that first set. Actually, what did do it, if you want my opinion, they got to pass the ball. So the Owls got the Horned Frogs in deep trouble, and you can see Jason Williams here. I can imagine he not only talked about that, but just, hey guys, let's stick to the way we play, and that's something we've spoke about with him many times before matches, is just, hey, it's all about not having those lulls, like the ups and downs, and not letting teams get on big runs. So something the Horned Frogs need to kind of change for this second set.
It was Alice Volpe who served first, and Volpe does a great job to keep that one off the ground. The first point belongs to Melanie Power and the Horned Frogs here in the second set.
And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot more of Para here. And, you know, something about Para, not only, you know, she loves to play volleyball, she loves the game, she has a great IQ, she hates to win. Everybody on that court hates to win. To lose, excuse me. I don't know anyone that hates to win, do you?
I was going to say no. That was a touch by TCU at the net. So even though the ball ended up about 5 feet beyond the end line, the point belongs to Rice. Back to serve, Thea Carter. And it's a service error on Rice.
And setter Lily Nicholson for the Horned Frogs. If she can get the ball within the 10-foot line, if someone can pass the ball within the 10-foot line, she's able to run the offense.
On the overpass, Melanie Para with the kill, but also a net violation against Rice as Savannah Scopel was reaching over the net.
And Savannah Scopel is back row, so, you know, if she jumps and reaches over the net, that's going to be a back row setter, back row attack call.
Tool off the block on the swing on the outside by Sam Hill. LSU transfer.
And Sam Hill, I think that she, you know, I'm trying to figure her out. So we've seen a few in-system quicker sets. I'm just so impressed by the out-of-system swings that she's taking.
Melanie Para with the swing dug out nicely by Harris on the back row for the Owls. There's a quick set in the middle for Roberson, but again, the dig by Harris And this time TCU is able to score the point as McCardle was down on her knees but couldn't control it.
And I think Lexi Roberson for the Horned Frogs, just you can see she kind of dove over to grab that ball. And, you know, a lot of the middle hitters, they're not taking big swings, but kind of those throwdown tips are still super effective. So you got to stop those.
On the overpass, Roberson for the Horned Frogs. And TCU coming out with a little bit more energy here in the second set.
And, you know, the effort by Roberson you see here, obviously an overpass most people think is an easy play, but it is impactful and just feeds the energy of the offense.
Kenobi had the swing, but there's Melanie Parra on the outside for the Horned Frogs.
And that was a high flyer swing by Melanie Parra. You can see how she's elevated there, and she's able to have, she has such a big range. She's able to hit so many different shots, which I'm sure if anyone has been following her, you've witnessed it.
Tough ball to handle by Rice on the serve. Just have to push it over on the third hit. There's a quick set for Roberson in the middle. And TCU doing a couple of things differently here in the second set, out to a 7-2 lead. We'll take a timeout as the teams will talk things over. TCU on top by 5 here in the second set, but Rice leads 1-0.
Do you need assistance?
The Wild Robot is the greatest DreamWorks movie ever.
Did anyone order me?
It's not just the best animated movie of the year.
Do you need assistance?
It's one of the best movies, period.
I will protect you.
The Wild Robot, rated PG, in theaters Friday.
Did you know that if you shave, 1/3 of what you remove is skin? New Dove deodorant helps repair it. So if you shave it, Dove it. New Dove. Replenish your skin after every shave.
Back inside Schollmeyer Arena, TCU out to a 7-2 lead. Dropped the first set to Rice, 25-21. Looking to even things up here in the second set. They have the serve. Jalen Gibson with the serve. That one pushed over by Hill. To the outside, Parra goes to the roll shot. Nice dig by Hill and finally bumped over by Rice. Backside set for Robinson. And there's a swing on the outside by Hill. And Hill will pick up the kill.
And, you know, definitely a big swing from Hill. Wow. So there's an in-system swing from Hill. We've just seen it all. You know, the out-of-system, I said super impressive. In-system, she has a cannon as well.
Hill with the serve. Parra has to reach back behind her and just kind of push the ball over. There's a big swing on the outside by Ncaa. Cindy Ncaa, the sophomore out of Katy, Texas.
And we spoke about Ncaa in the open of the match. We haven't seen a ton of her. You know, the majority of the kills, I think, have been from Katrina Jensen, the opposite, and then Sam Hill.
Gibson just has to roll that one over. Ncaa slaps it across. Quick set for Roberson, goes to the tip. Kept off the ground by the pancake dig that time by Mansfield. Block was set up perfectly against Parra. And this time she's able to get it off the block. The Rice Owls say it was not touched, but both referees saying, no, we feel it was touched at the net.
And Para's first swing in that sequence was blocked and covered, and she didn't really have a big approach going into that second swing, so she just aimed high, and I think that's what kind of lured that very fingertip block touch.
Scopo was lobbying for the green card, but Coach Volpe elected to keep it for a different point in time. Wow. What a swing by Becca Kelly. The defender was there. There's just so much power behind it. There was absolutely nothing she could do.
So two things going through my head right now. Yeah, the defender. What happens if that swing was just a little bit higher? That would hurt. Number two, the dig into the stands. Not very often you're seeing that. In baseball, Chuck sees that sometimes with the
foul balls.
Yeah.
Gibson
Volleyball, not so much.
had it blocked. Kenobi elevated, timed it perfectly, and got the clean block.
And you know, Jalen Gibson and the Horned Frog offense pretty quiet right now. They, you know, they're doing their thing. They're taking big swings. I just think the defense, the block that time, Kenobi, big aggressive block by her that last play.
Mansfield with the serve. You know, the Becca Kelly who just pushes it. Good job by Darby to keep it alive. Para in the middle, and she had it blocked. Down the pipe, you don't see her get it blocked very often on that shot, but perfect timing in the middle that time by Scoble.
And Lily Nicholson, not a lot of options there to set. Becca Kelly was out since she dug that ball, and that kind of made Melanie Para just have that triple block on that pipe attack.
Kelly. And a net violation prior to it by Rice.
And that is a break for TCU. I think the block of Rice has been so effective the last 2 or 3 points. Anything to kind of stop that run is going to help the Horned Frogs just inch away here, try to get point for point.
They set Kelly again, and Kelly able to tool it off the block. The freshman setter, Savannah Scopel, 6 foot, has done a nice job blocking. Was up there again, but good job by the TCU redshirt freshman to tool it off the block, and there's a service ace for the Horned Frogs.
And I think that the tables have turned a little bit. Horned Frogs getting the Owls in some serve-receive trouble here. Both teams serving really aggressive. Any error that either side has made has been kind of a low a serve, which tells you they're going for that low serve over the net. It's hard to pass.
Big swing on the outside by Changwa. TCU with another kill. And another Becca Kelly, big swing. And a timeout taken by Rice as they have fallen behind.
And TCU, Lily Nicholson keeping that fast tempo. Becca Kelly obviously capitalizing on that. And, you know, if you ask me, I think if Lily Nicholson could continue to push her sets to the pin, open up that line for her pin hitters, so allow them to have that option, it's really gonna save them. And then I think just kind of cleaning it up for TCU just from a setter's standpoint. So being really clean with the middles, involving them, and then getting Jalen Gibson back in the game as well. So, you know, she started out the match on fire, and then I think the connection just kind of went away. I think a lot of Jalen Gibson's sets have been pretty far off the net, and Lily Nicholson knows it. I mean, she's slapping her hands, she's mad at herself. It's tough to do. I'll go back to, it's a tournament. This is the 3rd match of the week for the Horned Frogs. It's a lot of game prep. It's a lot of the routine, and mentally, you start to go. And I mean, even you and I, Chuck, we're over here gabbing away, and you can tell it's when you kind of do the same thing over and over. That's where that mental toughness really comes in.
It's definitely hard, and TCU played last night. That game ended about 9 o'clock, and it's just kind of short turnaround. They were out here practicing it again, serve and receive about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So, it's not a whole lot of hours you're off your feet. And you could see it in, I thought anyway, you could see it in that first set that Rice, playing the 23rd team in the country, just came out with a lot of energy where TCU was a little flat to start. But the Horned Frogs here in the second set now know they're going to be in a dogfight against the Owls.
And, Coach Williams, knowing, hey, TCU's, this is their third match. Rice, this is their second match. So Rice is already coming out kind of with the upper hand, just a little bit more fresh.
Bram Schreiber to serve. Melanie Parra down the pipe, dug out on the back row. Again, they set the outside, and off the triple block, it's still tooled. Ncaa.
And I love that set from Savannah Scopel. So she was still able to just push the ball all the way out to Ncaa in system. And then, yeah, obviously a three blockers that she has to swing against, because everyone knows where the ball's going. But, props to Scopel for still keeping it in system and giving her a chance to score.
Quick set. And the kill by Sylvester. How many times have we seen Sarah Sylvester do this?
And she's up and she's available, so you might not see a lot of just like big swings bouncing the ball, but man, she's so effective because she's available for that setter.
Ncaa with a big swing. Or check that, was it Ogunlana with the kill? Let's see here. Yep.
And kind of that push quick set to Ogunlana, and we haven't really seen much of her, so that's something Coach Jenny Volpe, she spoke about. She said, hey, my pin hitters, we can count it. Let's see if we use the middles.
There's the block by Rice. Demi Ogunlana
and
teaming up with Hill for the block.
That's right. And there's one thing I'll say too, is just the change, the shift in momentum, big blocks, big hits when Rice scores. TCU, they're ahead, but not as big as a bang as Rice has.
And again, another block, and it's Ogunlana along with Hill. The two of them right now coming up with some big blocks, generating some excitement as well as the points for Rice. On the overpass, Kelly somehow dug it out for TCU. Bump set, Gibson. Mansfield dug it out. And there's a big swing on the outside, and again it's Hill.
The defense by Rice right now, spectacular. So not only their blocking, but their digs as well, putting them in a situation to run their offense, get the ball fast out to the pin to Samara Hill in that case. TCU, not even enough time to really reset and defend that swing.
4-0 run here for Rice, and they pulled to within 3.
And, if you look at the faces of TCU right now, we're looking at Jalen Gibson. I think something that maybe might be being said right now in Jason Williams' timeout is just, hey, the score is 14-11. You guys are up right now in this set. So, let's act like it. You're playing on your home court. Let's show some fires, show some energy. I mean, it's just kind of a neutral, I guess, emotion on the Horned Frog side. And I think there's definitely big moments that are going on right now for the Horned Frogs, big plays and so a lot of good things. But, I think it's like start with the basics. Like, everyone be happy to be here. you got to finish what you started. You started this tournament great. You've been doing great. You got to finish it now. Show that you're the number 23 ranked team in the country.
Yeah, that's just something that, you know, kind of takes time to work through. Melanie Parra on the inaugural watch list for the AVCA Player of the Year. 1 out of 36 players named when the list came out for the first time this week. Only 2 Big 12 players on that list. Melanie Parra, of course, one of them. Yeah. Kansas State, Olia Carta, the other one.
It's pretty impressive, and it's big for the Big 12 to have players this early in the season already showing a big performance.
Service error against Ncaa McCardle. That breaks the 4-0 scoring run. Alice Volpe will serve. There's the block by TCU. Parra along with Sylvester up there.
And I think Parra's done a great job setting the block. Sylvester obviously closing the block there. Katrina Jensen kind of just swinging low on that ball, not really fully extending like we saw at the beginning of the match.
Another block by TCU. Kat Jensen tried to go cross court. TCU having none of it right there.
And Melanie Parra, I mean, we're sitting right here basically under this big roof right here, and you look at Melanie Parra's left hand is just facing in the court. She was literally over Jensen.
Jensen pushes it down the line. TCU able to dig it up, dig it out. Gibson with the big swing will come up with a kill. No chance for Mansfield to dig that on the back row for Rice.
So whatever Coach Williams just talked about in the timeout, you know, maybe some fire was lit for the Horned Frogs, bringing the big heat. Jalen Gibson is kind of back in it, getting her confidence back.
To the outside, all Rice can do is bump it over. Nicholson goes to the center dump. And TCU on a run of their own extends the lead.
And what a perfect time for the setter dump. Libero Ncaa McCardle was running back to get to her defensive position, and Nicholson just keyed in on that and, you know, dumped the ball right where she would be standing.
5-0 run for TCU. Set to the outside for Parra. Melanie tries to cut it cross court. Side out Rice, and that breaks the 5-0 scoring run. Taylor Johnson, junior out of Scottsdale, Arizona, rotates in to serve. First time we've seen her in the match. Quick set to the outside for Parra. Nice dig by McCardle. They go back to Parra, goes to the tip. Definitely working Melanie Parra. And they're going to say net violation on the Horned Frogs on that swing.
So it was a little bit of a tight set for Melanie. You can see she couldn't fully finish her swing there, so it would have been a kill, but I think she clipped the tape on her follow-through.
Volpe has to go down to the floor to dig it. And there's Melanie Parra with just great recognition. As the block was getting over there, just tips it over the top of the blockers as they move towards the pin.
And you can see Melanie had to use her left hand to get that ball over. It was a pretty speedy set from Lily Nicholson, so I'm not sure she would have been able to swing on it, but nevertheless, nobody was in position to defend that ball.
Riley Weigelt with the serve. There's the block. Somehow kept alive and over by Rice. Backside set, Jalen Gibson.
Such an important swing, an important player in Jalen Gibson. So having her able to contribute on that side of the net, kind of owning that pin over there, and then obviously having Melanie Parra up front row with her, shows that score, 21-13.
Volpe does a great job to keep that one alive, and Gibson will bump it over. And there's the block by Parra. Robertson was there as well. I think it was Parra who got it, maybe not.
Parra just on a blocking run against Katrina Jensen. She's really dialed in. She's lining up great on her. And, you know, again, from the position that we are sitting at, she really is up and over that ball.
Weigelt again with the serve. Quick set in the middle. TCU able to keep it alive. Hill tipped it over. The set was a little bit too much towards the net and on the overpass. Rice breaks the run for the Horned Frogs. Darby Harris will serve. The junior out of Wheaton, Illinois. Floats it short. Gibson just kind of pushes it over. Melanie Parra clipped the tape, had it roll over, and found some open space.
And we see a smile, so even better. I think exactly that's it. Just found some open space, and still a tough shot to make, more of like a beach volleyball sort of cut shot. You can see her, she just snaps her wrist and gets it in that sharp angle.
Side out, that one missed wide. And the Horned Frogs have set point here in set number 2.
And just a few hitting mistakes by the Owls, and then some hitting, better hitting actually by the Horned Frogs. Put them in a great position.
On the block, that one is out of bounds, so it's Toole off the block. Rice able to stave off the first set point, but it'll be set point number 2 for TCU here. Samara Hill at the service line. That ball behind Parra. And a good job on the outside. Cindy Changwa.
And Rice has made some substitutions, so new setter on the court, Kaya Mateo, 5'11" setter, sophomore. Making some changes to see if they can have any offensive luck here.
Set point number 3. There's Parra, and that will do it. It's Melanie Parra with a good run. Had a lot of open room, no blocker in front of her, able to end it for the Horned Frogs as they take set 2, 25-16 to even things up.
And I think that time it was more of an inside combination set for Melanie Parra, just to give her a different look. The Rice blockers to have to think a little bit more, and, you know, spectacular job working with less space on the court, still hitting that sharp angle.
We'll take a timeout, come back with set number 3, tied at 1 apiece.
Frog fans, the 2024 volleyball season is here, and we're fired up to start the season off with a bang. You won't want to miss out as your Horned Frogs host big matches against UCLA, Arizona State, Baylor, Houston, and many more. We'll be bringing the action all season long at Schollmeyer Arena, so purchase season or single game tickets today by visiting gofrogs.com.
There are those who see the world through a different lens, who take risks, who are willing to make a stand. Because trails, they aren't blazed by the timid, but by the bold. For For 150 years, TCU has been creating the next generation of leaders. To think audaciously, care compassionately, lead heroically. And now it's our turn, our time to lead on.
The 2024 soccer season is here, and you won't want to miss a minute of the action. Join us as we kick off the TCU fall sports season with excitement and energy. This year, we're gearing up for thrilling home matches against top-tier opponents. Get ready for an unforgettable season of goals and glory at Garvey Rosenthal Soccer Stadium. Be a part of the excitement. Secure your season or single-game tickets today at GoFrogs.com.
Frog fans, the 2024 volleyball season is here, and we're fired up to start the season off with a bang. You won't want to miss out as your Horned Frogs host big matches against UCLA, Arizona State, Baylor, Houston, and many more. We'll be bringing the action all season long at Schollmeyer Arena, so purchase season or single-game tickets today by visiting GoFrogs.com.
Everything you thought you knew is brand new.
We on a new wave. This ain't what it was.
See, when the game changes, so do we. Every day, every play. Always been greater than 12, now standing 16 strong. In every end zone, any time zone. When everyone else keeps asking, what's next? We know, we are.
Welcome back inside Schollmeyer Arena. We're even at a set apiece here. TCU playing much better in that second set than they did in the first set. And so they did a few things differently there, I think, to be able to even this matchup at a set apiece.
Definitely. So not only just a shift in energy, because I think the Horned Frogs kind of just came into this match a little bit flat to begin with, and Rice was the total opposite. They were just so on fire. But that last set, really, the difference is the blocking and I think just making less offensive errors. So really just the Horned Frogs playing their game. They didn't start the match playing their game, but they kind of woke up, and that's how you see that reflection in the score.
They also started to go to number 23 is Melanie Para with 14 kills, and this is what she did here in the match so far.
Right, so Para, frustrating for her in the first set. Second set, she started to find her way, do some different things, different shots, and then really amping it up and just feeling more confident, taking some big swings.
Well, whenever you need some points, if you're TCU, just find Melanie Para. Back with more of the third set right after this. Now you get a look at the TCU bench.
And I think everybody's just a little bit more relaxed and happy. And Melanie Para, I feel like we see her snacking a lot. I don't know. I know it's tournament play. I mean, chocolate chip cookie, I don't know. They don't have those on the bench. That would be cool if they did. When I played, we would have girls on the bench with Skittles in their pockets. I mean, it was like, if you come out, hey, you want the red or the yellow?
You get a look at Melanie Para and where she ranks on the team. She's a two-way player. I mean, she's not only great offensively, she does a terrific job when it comes to digs and blocks as well. I mean, she can, do just about everything on the volleyball court. And, you having played in Europe, I would imagine that she will have an opportunity to play professionally after this year.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, not many people know there's every country pretty much has a professional league, and it's kind of like college volleyball in the U.S. So there's all sorts of different levels. Like we have, Division 1, 2, 3, and so on. It's kind of the same thing playing professionally. So, but Melanie Para will definitely be, if she wants to, probably on a top-notch club. The difference, though, playing professionally, the season is about 8 months long.
Wow.
So it's all about how you are physically, if you can make it through.
Rice with the opening serve of the third set. And the first kill of set number 3 belongs to Jalen Gibson. 8 kills for her now.
And I was going to say the signature kind of play to start off the set in that rotation, to have Gibson come around and hit out of the middle, and make the blockers think a little bit. And she's very effective, actually, so I can see why they used her on that.
Volpe trying to save it. Almost ran into the tunnel, just couldn't get to it in time. And the kill that time by Samara Hill. 9 kills for her on the match. Back to serve, Thea Carter. Played her high school volleyball at Alamo Heights in San Antonio. Melanie Parra.
Well, whatever Parr was snacking on really gave her a little bit more oomph. I mean, the elevation you see there, it just gives her such a great view of where she wants to attack. And then she does have a hang time, so she can kind of pick and choose, and then swing.
That one long on the swing in the middle that time by Rice. Gibson will serve. Set to the outside. Hill with the swing, blocked by TCU. Go to the other side, and the block set up perfectly by Parra. It was Kat Jensen who had the swing for the Owls.
And you can see the frustration that Kat Jensen has after that swing. It's, Melanie Parra is just so dialed in, and I think she stopped her about 4 to 5 times now with the stuff block.
Pushed over by Rice. Nicholson sets Melanie Parra, and Parra starting to feel it now here in this 3rd set.
And there's something to be said about matchups, right? So Melanie Parra is stopping Kat Jensen, and then she's also hitting against her. So it's kind of a little bit of a back and forth, and I think Parra's starting to have some fun with it.
On the overpass, Melanie Parra. Dug out nicely, though, by Rice. And a net violation against the Owls. TCU off to a good start here in the 2nd set. A nice job at the service line by Gibson. And the timeout taken by Jenny Volpe. Timeout on the floor. We'll take it with the teams. TCU on top, 6-1 here in set number 3.
Hello, here's a free sticker. Scan the code and receive 10% off of your...
I'm an advanced robotic helper. Do you need assistance?
Huh. Did you know I can assist with grocery shopping, banking, landscaping? On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate my performance? I will register that as a 10.
The Wild Robot, rated PG, in theaters Friday.
Ow! Who's that sexy thing I see over there? That's me, standing in the mirror. If I was you, I'd wanna be me too. 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 I'd wanna be me too.
Melanie Parra with 16 kills, 6 blocks in the match. And we were talking about it during the break. Those are great numbers, but it doesn't feel like she's dominated to this point.
Right, and that just goes to show that's probably what everyone who's watching right now, maybe it's just that expectation, and not only the viewers, but herself. I mean, I think Melanie Parra has really high expectations. She puts a lot on herself.
On the tip Gibson able to dig it out. They go back to Parra down the line, and she scores.
And just like you saw here, I mean, this deep line kind of push tip, it's the ability to recognize what's open and just kind of what hasn't worked for her before. So, hey, what did I make my mistakes on? I got to change it.
Gibson with the service error. That's the third on the Horned Frogs. Rice to serve. Darby Harris with the serve. Nicholson sets Parra, goes to the roll shot, but dug out. Back to Parra on the bump set. And this time she uses the power.
And, you know, Parra, she recognizes when she's in that position. So she can afford not to take a big swing because she could place the ball really anywhere with the tip and probably score because she reads so well what's open. But it's almost like, oh, I decided I want to take a swing, so let's do it.
Jump serve by Parra. Off the slide. Big swing by Kenobi, but TCU dug it out. Could not dig that one out, however. The kill by Scopel, the setter.
And I think that's Scopel's second swing like that, where it's just like a weird dig in front of her, and she takes advantage of her height at 6 feet tall and takes a swing.
Well, most of the time setters score on the dump, as there's a service error. But that was not a dump. That was a full swing.
Oh, yeah. I've played with a setter before. So at UCLA, I played with a setter, Nellie Spicer, and that was her, like, the coolest thing about her is that if someone was passing a free ball over the net, like a short free ball, she would just back off and hit it right back and score. It was like, oh, my gosh, that's right. You actually can take swings as a setter.
Setters are actually volleyball players.
Yeah.
Big swing on the outside. But that one is wide, as Ncaa tried to go deep into the right corner, but missed on attack error on Rice. Back row attack. TCU had it scoped out as Ford had it blocked. Kept alive by the Owls. They set the middle. That swing by Ford. She's able to score, the senior out of South Pasadena, California.
And so the Owls making a change here, having Ford play on the right side. So the lefty, it's a new look for TCU to try to defend her. Smart changeup, I think, by Coach Volpe for the Owls.
Another service error by Rice. That's their 7th of the match. Jason Williams, after the first set, has to like what he sees is there's been a little bit more energy from his team. They're starting to play more like themselves. There's a nice swing on the outside by the Rice.
So here's how you know someone's athletic. So you look at Ncaa, she's pretty far off the net. I know that the camera doesn't really show it, but she's pretty far off the net, and she's able to get up and swing that big and that kind of straight down. It says a lot.
3 straight service errors on the Owls.
And that's so tough. I mean, as anyone who knows the game knows, it's so tough to have a big swing like we just saw with Ncaa and then miss a serve and then do that 3 times in a row. So just a roll shifts here with the momentum. The Owls lacking a lot of momentum, and TCU just feasting off of their mistakes.
Volpe had to serve, and there's a swing on the outside. Jensen, who's been quiet here in the 3rd set. 10th kill overall for her.
And just outside the block there. So, you know, I would say TCU block error. Just, you know, Sylvester, if she could drop that left hand, she probably would have grabbed that ball out of Jensen.
Gibson tipped it over, and she's going to score. With some confusion, Scoble was trying to scramble over to get that ball, but all the Owls had bunched up.
And it's almost like a 2-for-1 there. 2 people passing 1 ball, and then it just was uncontrollable.
Weigelt had the serve, and that kill attempt, trying to get that off the hands of the blocker, but sent it too high. Timeout taken by Rice as Jenny Volpe wants to talk things over. Her team now trailing 14-6 here in the 3rd set.
And I think just the amount of the errors that you see from the Owls. So a lot of TCU's points, you look at the score, 14-6. A lot of those points are from the Owl errors. And, you know, the Owls are looking for a way to light up their offense again. Coach Volpe has gone with a double substitution, where what that means is they're going to have a back row setter all the time. They're going to play with 2 setters and 2 opposites, and they're going to just interchange them in and out so that the setter's always back row, and then you always have a hitter on that right side.
Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Horned Frogs. They will have a big match coming up against the 14th ranked Arizona State Sun Devils here at Schollmeyer Arena on Wednesday. That is will be carried on ESPNU. Then we'll be back to bring you the match between Arizona and TCU next Friday, also here. And then TCU will hit the road to take on Houston. We've got Baylor coming in on October the 6th, and finally Utah, at Utah on October the 10th. A really tough schedule to start Big 12 play for the Horned Frogs.
Right, and you know, it's something that's kind of a positive, though. Well, it's positive to play a tough schedule. There's nothing bad about that. I think, especially TCU, if you watch the UCLA game, they rise to the occasion. So far this year, they pretty much rose to the occasion. I mean, they had the big win against Minnesota and then a win against UCLA. They almost beat Wisconsin, in my opinion. It was a very close match there. But I think they're a team I'm excited to see them rise to the occasion.
On the overpass, Melanie Parra. You know, Jason Williams felt like they should have beat Wisconsin. It was a 5-set match, and he thought that they had him.
And another, I'll say, easy point for Melanie Parra.
19 kills now for Parra. Weigelt dug it out. Parra pushes it over. Backside set quickly in the middle. McCardle, TCU right there to block it. And there's the middle for TCU is Alexis Roberson with the kill.
And I think Roberson, you know, not a huge transition there. She didn't have a lot of time to be available, but you know, within a long rally, if a middle can just, hey, I'm here, I'm going to step close, I'm going to get up, they can score, and that's exactly what Roberson just did.
Weigelt again with the serve. They set the backside, and Jensen, the leading scorer for the Owls, now has 11 kills.
And it's tough for Jensen right now. Melanie Parra is, as high as her vertical is, as great of an all-around player she is, it's a tough player to hit against. So she shut down Katrina Jensen a few times, but, you know, Jensen is kind of the go-to player for the Owls.
Service error by Rice. Thea Carter. And that's hurt Rice so far in this match. That's the 9th service error on the Owls. And when you're playing a team like TCU, you can ill afford to make those kinds of mistakes. And there's a net violation against Rice.
And, you know, a nice, tough serve from Jalen Gibson put the Owls in that situation with kind of a tight pass.
That one just pushed over by Hill. There's Parra. Tools one off the block. 20 kills for Melanie.
And I laugh because it's just like, oh, business as usual. Her 20th kill. It's such a big deal, everyone. I mean, the big swings, the ability to come back and kind of work yourself into the match, throw some smart shots in, and then really turn it on like we just saw with that big swing.
Good job by Rice just to get that ball over the net. They were way out of system, and Melanie Parr is going to pick up another kill. This time she goes to the off-speed tip, and you can see the smile on Melanie Parr's face.
And that's one of the difficult things of many when you defend Melanie Parr is, she knows she can hit anywhere, so you got to release and like you're going to dig her swing, but then, yeah, it's hard to run down the short tip.
Tough ball to handle by Gibson, but Rice does, and then picks up the kill. In the middle that time with the kill was Taylor Johnson.
And it's such a gutsy swing, too, by Johnson. Just a really difficult ball. You can see almost how low it cleared the tape. It's just because with a high set like that, you have no vision as a hitter.
Johnson had it blocked. They go back to her. Parra. Again, it's Johnson, so you can see the Owls really looking for Johnson here. In this last sequence, they just kept going back to the outside for Taylor Johnson, the junior.
And it is a different look for the Horned Frog defense. Taylor Johnson, a player they may have not been planning on playing much. So whole set of different rules when you're blocking her.
I mean, Johnson really had only played in 6 sets, did not have a kill coming into this match. Quick set in the middle. Nicholson with the set to the outside for Parra, and Melanie just can't keep that one on the court. A little bit long.
But I like the big swing from Melanie Parra. Such a long rally, and Alice Volpe really controlling that out-of-system set for her. I think Parra really wanted to take a big swing.
Takes a big swing here. Rice able to somehow save it and get it over the net. Nice job by the Owls. McCardle saved it. He's going to have another opportunity here. And another kill by Taylor Johnson, who didn't have, as I mentioned, a kill coming into this match. And now Jason Williams wants a timeout.
And like I said, she's taken some gutsy swings. These are all really difficult sets she's getting. I mean, sets from across the court. And I have seen plenty of times, and this has happened to me as well. Those are the kind of sets like players might hit under the net because you lose the ball when it's so high and you don't know your distance off the net. Like you may think you're closer than you actually are. So that's really what Taylor Johnson is doing. She's just like, hey, nothing to lose. Let's go out here. My team needs offense right now. That's what the Owls need. They need offense. So, Jenny Volpe really just pulling from the bench, making the double substitution as well, seeking their first win against a ranked opponent this season. So, like I said, doing what she can to try to get a win.
They had a win yesterday against UTA. They played ranked opponents tough. 2 of the 3 losses that they've sustained came against ranked teams. They lost to Creighton, and they also lost to Baylor.
And Coach Volpe, she mentioned when we talked to her before the match, and Jason Williams as well. He's spoken about the scheduling of the preseason. Scheduling, playing those ranked teams is so huge, and even losing, it doesn't matter. Just if you can get a game, it's so important.
Take a look at the Rice Owls' upcoming schedules. They start league play this week at Tulane and UTSA at Tulsa and Wichita State before hosting North Texas on October the 11th. Right now, though, they're just trying to get back into this one, and there's the service ace for Rice. That's their first of the match. Darby Harris with the service ace. She'll serve again here. Roberson off the quick set from Nicholson.
And I mean, Roberson being up and available, it's an easy kill. You know, she had pretty much no blockers that time.
Melanie Parra will serve. Clips the tape. Service error. The fourth on the Horned Frogs. Becca Kelly's been quiet, had that last swing. There's the tip dug out by Gibson. Kelly goes to the tip, and a great dig by Harris. Got it over. Batted around and over somehow by Bramschreiber, who had her back to the net, and then there's the kill on the outside by Kenobi.
And Kenobi with the slide attack, you see she goes behind the setter there. She squeezed it just on the outside hand of Becca Kelly down the line. Very nice connection there.
Nicholson sets the back row attack for Parra. Dug out by Kenobi. And there's the kill on the outside. Changwa with the kill. Cindy Changwa now with 6.
And Changwa bringing some offensive life back to the Owls here. So she did what she could to squeeze that ball past the inside hand of Roberson.
Nicholson sets Becca Kelly, and in system, tough to stop Becca Kelly.
And concerned about the defensive player. I'm not sure who that ricocheted off of, but Becca Kelly, it's always nice when, hey, are you okay?
Yeah, ball came in with a lot of pace on it. Bramschreiber will serve here. Or the Horned Frogs closing in on a third set victory. But Changwa says, not yet. Big swing for her. 6 kills.
And I think just capitalizing on, hey, swing fast and swing the seam. So swing between the TCU blockers there, and then you can see it kind of ricochets off that right hand of Sylvester.
Nicholson goes to the dump, but kept off the floor by Rice, and the Owls come back to score. And the Owls making TCU work for this third set. The Frogs had a big lead through most of it, but on a run here, Nicholson serves Parra. That's long. A 3-0 scoring run for Rice, and all of a sudden it's 22-18. And a timeout taken by Jason Williams.
Cindy Changwa for the Owls, just igniting the offense, kind of giving some more life to that side of the court, making some great plays too, just using the TCU block well. I think she's capitalizing on Lily Nicholson being the blocker that's in front of her. And, you know, that matchup, you know, Changwa is at 6 foot with a great vertical. And then you look at Nicholson at 5'11". So that's a different changeup you saw. You saw Coach Williams get Evan Hendricks in there just for a different look at a way to defend and stop Cindy Changwa.
Changwa now with 8 kills for the match. And as I mentioned, a 3-0 scoring run for Rice out of the last break in the action. And the Riff Ram app is now available in the App Store or on your Google Play. Get all your TCU information by downloading the Riff Ram app today. If you don't have it, certainly will want it if you're a TCU fan. All things TCU. Jason Williams conversing with his coaching staff, wanting to see if the Horned Frogs can get back on a little bit of a run and finish off this set. And for Rice, Jenny Volpe wanting her team to continue this run that they're on right now. Becca Kelly, 8th kill of the match for Kelly. She's been quiet, had a good first set, but been kind of quiet since then.
But a big swing here, so just a great connection with Lily Nicholson, and I think, you know, you see that connection because you see her hitting, excuse me, between the block there. There's no way to defend that.
Ball handling error by Samara Hill. And it's set point for the Horned Frogs. Tough ball to handle on that serve from Nicholson, but there's Cindy Ncaa, who's had herself a really good third set, especially over the last few minutes. Set point number 2 coming up for the Horned Frogs. Kaya Mateo will serve. Nicholson sets Gibson, who was off the net and just kind of tipped that one right towards the blockers. And now it's a 24-20 TCU lead.
And TCU needs to pass the ball well, get the ball inside the 10-foot line so that they can run their offense.
Becca Kelly sends it wide, side out. And it's a 3-point lead for the Horned Frogs in set point number 3. And again, Mateo, who's out of New York, she transferred from Iowa, back at the service line. Blocked, and another point. There's some confusion by the Horned Frogs on the back row.
And you can see the hitters for the Horned Frogs just get tighter and tighter and tighter. There's not that loose feeling, the free play feeling, I think, like we've seen most of this set. I mean, it's tremendous, the comeback that the Owls are making right now.
Kelly ends it for the Horned Frogs with that swing. Well, Becca Kelly picks up her 9th kill of the match, and TCU will take a 2-1 lead here. We'll take a timeout, come back with the start of set number 4 right after this.
There are those who see the world through a different lens, who take risks, who are willing to make a stand. Because trails, they aren't blazed by the timid, but by the bold. For 150 years, TCU has been creating the next generation of leaders. To think audaciously, care compassionately, lead heroically. And now, it's our turn, our time to lead on.
Frog fans, the 2024 volleyball season is here, and we're fired up to start the season off with a bang. You won't want to miss out as your Horned Frogs host big matches against UCLA, Arizona State, Baylor, Houston, and many more. We'll be bringing the action all season long at Schollmeyer Arena, so purchase season or single game tickets today by visiting gofrogs.com.
The 2024 soccer season is here, and you won't want to miss a minute of the action. Join us as we kick off the TCU fall sports season with excitement and energy. This year, we're gearing up for thrilling home matches against top-tier opponents. Get ready for an unforgettable season of goals and glory at Garvey Rosenthal Soccer Stadium. Be a part of the excitement. Secure your season or single game tickets today at gofrogs.com.
So for example, 1%
Rice making a game of it there in the third set. TCU had opened up a pretty big lead in set number 3, but Rice came back and made it interesting near the tail end. As we take a look at the coaches poll top 25, Pittsburgh still undefeated, sit atop the league, followed by Stanford, Penn State, Louisville, Nebraska. A lot of schools in the Midwest. Texas, who won the national championship, in the 8th spot. There you look at page 2, Baylor out of the Big 12, holding down the number 20 spot. Arizona State, who will be in here next week at 14. And rounding out the top 25, you get a look at TCU coming in at 23, just behind SMU. Lily Nicholson on the bench has done a nice job distributing the ball for the Horned Frogs here today. 38 assists for her.
And I think it's been a little bit of a tough match for Nicholson. She's really had to run the court with the passing kind of being all over the place. So that was, if you were watching the end of that last set, Rice made a huge comeback, and it was mainly due to getting the TCU offense in trouble, unable to pass the ball and have Lily Nicholson run the offense like she wants to. But I really think Lily Nicholson, and Chuck, we talked about her just prior to the match, you know, from last year to this year. Last year she was kind of throwing in and had to run it, and it was almost like a deer in headlights. But right now she's really confident, and you know, she's only a sophomore. So I think it's really important for the Horned Frogs to have her running the offense right now. Obviously the Horned Frogs run a 5-1. They do have an option if they want to run a 6-2 with setter Stephanie Young, the grad transfer from Texas A&M Corpus Christi. She's been unavailable, so Lily Nicholson has stepped in.
Switch at libero here for the 4th set, as Alice Volpe now the libero. Seth Bramschreiber will be the defensive specialist.
And I think, you know, 2 reasons. One, hey, this is fun, Alice. Let's have you libero against your mom. And number 2, I think Volpe is a solid passer. I think she needs to be on the court all the time. Tonight, Seth might be a little bit off with her serve receive.
First point of set number 4 belongs to Rice on that swing by Cindy Shangwa.
And Changwa just validating what we spoke about at the top of the match. Big offensive powerhouse for Rice. You see down the line, finding that little opening, taking a big swing.
On the overpass, the putback by Thea Carter.
And again, just some serve receive trouble for the Horned Frogs, luring that kind of overpass scenario, and an easy point for the Owls.
Backside set for Gibson, that was blocked. Parra dug it out. They go back to Parra, pushes it down the line. And that set was just too far outside the antenna. Jensen tried to do something with it, but really had no angle at all. Well, Sarah Sylvester will serve here. Or actually, she's going to come out of the game on this rotation, and Weigelt will serve.
So serve and passing game right now, I think, for both teams. Ability to control the ball and ability to eliminate those service errors and still have an aggressive serve.
Blocked by TCU. Roberson comes up with the block for the Horned Frogs. That's the 10th block of the match for TCU.
And Jalen Gibson and Lexi Roberson just kind of eating that one up. They were right there.
Changwa again with a big swing. Just see the total block, 7 for Rice.
And Ncaa just having an outstanding performance, 11 kills but hitting 375, so only 2 errors. It just shows she's unstoppable and very effective.
She's at the service line here. Jalen Gibson cuts that one cross court. She's in double digits now with kills, 10 for her.
And I can't quite put my finger on it. I think tonight I keep saying it's because of this tournament and it's the 3rd match, but no 3 pin hitters for TCU are all on at the same time, it seems like. They're taking turns leading the match.
Robinson got caught hanging in the air, somehow swatted that ball over the net and picked up the kill and a big smile on her face, knowing she kind of got away with one there.
Right, sometimes, you just have to be athletic and you come out on top.
Gibson, again, at the service line, the bump set on the 50-50 balls won by TCU, but there's a net violation against the Owls. Gibson again on a 3-0 run for TCU. Tough ball to handle, some confusion by Rice. They're able to get it over. Roberson again swatted it. There's Parra, she tools it off the block. 22 for Melanie.
And that set, the inside set, has worked so well for Melanie Parra. So that's just the communication with Nicholson and Parra. Hey, and I don't know what they call it. They can call it a loop, but it's not a 4-ball. It's more inside. It really throws the blockers off.
That'll end a 4-0 scoring run for TCU. 5th service error of the match for the Horned Frogs. Back to serve, Thea Carter. You see the service errors there. Rice has made 9. Just been pretty costly for the Owls so far in this one. Parra gets it over. After Roberson's shot hit the tape, that one tool off the block.
And nice swing there by Sam Hill. I mean, I think this whole match, she's just been capitalizing on the Lily Nicholson. And it doesn't mean that Lily Nicholson is not a good blocker. I just want to make that clear. Most outside hitters, if the setter's in front of them, they're going to try to hit towards her.
Melanie Parra flying through the air, powers that one down the line.
And there is a way to stub your toe playing volleyball, and it's just that, the ball hitting your foot off of a Melanie Parra swing. One of the hardest swings on that big toe.
She leads the Big 12 in kills per set. 2.25. I mean, 5.25 per set. That one off the block, which wasn't tight enough to the net, so it fell right at the feet of the blocker on the swing by Gibson. Melanie Parra at the service line. Goes to the floater on the overpass. Roberson with the kill.
And it didn't even look like Roberson had to jump. She just had a little quick wrist snap there. She has her hands up and just a little tap jump and tap it back over.
Timeout taken by Rice as they find themselves down 9-5 here in the 4th set. TCU on another 3-0 scoring run. We'll take a timeout. Back with more of the 4th set right after this.
Hello, here's a free sticker. Scan the code and receive 10% off of your...
I'm an advanced robotic helper. Do you need assistance?
Did you know I can assist with grocery shopping, banking, landscaping? On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate my performance? I will register that as a 10.
The Wild Robot, rated PG, in theaters Friday.
Did you know that if you shave, 1/3 of what you remove is skin? New Dove deodorant helps repair it. So if you shave it, Dove it. New Dove. Replenish your skin after every shave.
Every week, ESPN Plus brings you magic.
Yamal ignites the game.
World-class soccer all in one place. ESPN Plus, for the love of soccer.
Back inside Schollmeyer Arena, TCU up 2-1, leading here in the fourth set. Take a look at some of the youngsters there. Tickets are now available at goldfrogs.com for the remainder of the volleyball season. As TCU will get into conference play starting on Wednesday. A lot of great teams coming in here at Schollmeyer Arena. Get your tickets at gofrogs.com. Back to action. TCU with the point. Wasn't pretty, but it got the job done. And Roberson celebrating.
And it was a great connection with Roberson. That one-legged attack behind the setter, I think Lily Nicholson and Alexis Roberson have been really working on that.
Parra with a big swing. There's the block. Nice job by Rice to keep it alive. Nicholson sets Becca Kelly. Somehow that Rice got it over the net. Kelly again. Mansfield with the dig. They go to the opposite side, and that'll break the 4-0 scoring run on the swing by Sam Hill. 10 kills for Hill now, actually 11.
And Sam Hill just continuing to deliver those seam attacks. So she's really beating the TCU block there and bringing the heat as well. But, you know, I just think that just goes to show a little bit quicker tempo set for Sam Hill.
The back row attack by Parra dug out nicely. And there's the block by TCU.
And we've talked about it before. TCU does try to triple block when they know the set is going out to that outside hitter. And that time, super effective. I think that might be Becca Kelly's second block. And if I can remember, the first one was from a 3-blocker scenario as well.
Service error on the Horned Frogs. That's their 6th. Alice Volpe unable to keep that one in. Sam Hill will serve. Block set up nicely by Rice. Mateo and Kenobi with the block.
And it's an exciting block to block like that straight down. You can see Becca Kelly isn't happy about it, but she brings so much heat. So just imagine how fast that block's coming back.
Off the tape, great save by Sarah Sylvester, somehow keeping that off the floor. And again, Rice with the kill. Kenobi, the senior at Omaha, Nebraska, transferred from SMU. 6 kills for her.
And Kenobi, all she had to do is just throw it down between the Becca Kelly block. I think that's something that TCU can clean up a little bit, is just pressing low and over, making sure there's no seams.
Block was up as Parra came down the pipe. And it's a 4-0 run here for Rice.
And it's the Kenobi game right now. I mean, she's scoring, she's blocking, obviously giving a lot of fire and energy to the Owls.
And Hill's done a nice job of giving the Frogs some trouble with these serves, but this time she serves it into the net.
And that's kind of been going on with both sides, that, you know, there'll be a big swing or a little bit of a run, and then the service error is what kills it.
10th service error for Rice. On the overpass, the 50-50 ball. Rice able to keep it off the floor, and then there's Sarah Sylvester in the middle. On that overpass, she was right there.
And there's, you know, one thing I love, of the many things I love about Sarah Sylvester actually, is she makes sure she closes all the way. When she knows where the ball's going, she's extra sure.
Tooled off the block. Now Rice, once again, hanging with the Horned Frogs here in the 4th set.
Lots of firepower on the pins for the Owls. Cindy Changwa, Samara Hill.
Backside set for Kelly. Rice kept it alive and got it over. Looked like that ball was headed into the stands, and TCU picks up the kill, and they're going to pull out the challenge card here.
And Coach Jenny Volpe for the Owls pretty much running to the stand to grab that green card. I think she was standing right there, and you know, she and the rest of her squad seemed to think that that ball was way out. I think even Jalen Gibson was kind of questioning in, and then the refs called it in, and oh wow, okay. So could be a close one. We will take a look at it. And so it's all about where that ball is landing, and it's definitely very close to that red sideline. So you just, it's a fast swing, so it's hard to kind of catch it from our view.
And it can land on the line, so that may be the best look at it here. And that, it looks like it's shielded over there by Darby Harris, who is the nearest Owl. Now remember, the referees are looking at some different looks than we have, and they can enlarge things and slow it down on their iPad. As Coach Volpe takes a minute to talk to Lola Ford, the senior, on the sideline.
You can see the referee zooming in, slowing it down, slow motion. It was a big swing by Jalen Gibson. Really nice heat behind the ball. You can see how high up she is when she takes that swing.
You know, Bill Stanley will make the call here, and he is going to overturn this. So Rice wins the challenge. And it's a 1-point TCU lead here.
That's a big difference, 11-14 or 1-point difference here. So very important challenge win by Coach Volpe.
Mansfield to serve again. Backside set for Kelly, and she'll win the point. Darby Harris tried to make the dig, diving, but there's no chance as that one off her arm and off the antenna. Seth Bramschreiber will serve. Set to the outside, and that one tool off the block. And again, Cindy Changwa doing a nice job. She leads the Owls now with 13 kills.
And you know, one of those players too that you know she's gonna swing most of the time. And you know, there's something to be said about that. I think a lot of hitters make mistakes when they think too much and they think they have to place the ball all the time.
On the overpass, TCU's lucky to be able to dig that one out. And there's Melanie Parra. Changwa just pushes it over. Nicholson sets Parra again, and Melanie scores her 24th kill of the match.
It's truly amazing, and so you don't see a lot of hitters that are able to hit over a block. So, you know, that time I think she contacted height was between the Owl blockers. So, you know, that just goes to show fast set kind of gives her that opportunity to have a seam.
Quick set in the middle. TCU able to dig it out. Nicholson goes to the backside for Gibson. And Jalen Gibson with the kill. 12 for her. She's got a double-double. She's also got 10 digs to go along with those 12 kills.
And a great reversal set by Lily Nicholson and with some speed on it too.
Set to the outside for Shangwa. And that ball rolls across the tape and out. Shangwa trying to cut it cross court, but you hit too much of the tape. Timeout taken by Jenny Volpe. And the Rice Owls.
And I don't know, I mean, I have the feeling, despite the score, so, 4-point lead for TCU, but I feel like the Owls are kind of in this. Obviously up a set and the score being what it is, but they still have momentum. I mean, big swings, doing good things. I think Coach Jenny Volpe has really done a great job with the different substitutions, getting different looks for the TCU defense. Obviously not giving up, not just rolling over for him. So putting up a fight, and I expect, we saw in the last set how Rice kind of made their way back for that 22-25 score. So I imagine TCU knows they're not anywhere near done yet.
You got to look at the defensive stats for Sarah Sylvester this year. Coming into today, 42 blocks. She's got 6 more today to add to that total. Blocks per set, she's also first. Block assist first. So she's been outstanding for the Horned Frogs in the middle.
And Coach Jason Williams has talked about, usually when you make a team, you have 2 middle blockers, right? So one is usually more of your defensive middle blocker, more of the blocker, and one that is more of the offensive. So he mentioned Sylvester is more of the defensive, but I always chuckle because even though Sylvester, you don't see a lot of hand on the ball, big swings, every time she's up and makes herself available, I think that she scores. She's a very bright player. She controls her body really well too, and that's something you'll see some middles. They get up so quick and they're like a machine. They just want to swing, and she really is, I guess, experienced in that way.
And she's had 8 kills in a match. Only 1 today. Punched over. And Rice will score on the overpass. Thea Carter comes up with the kill.
And this is kind of what we saw at the end of the last set, is tough serving, putting the Frogs in trouble, creating that overpass scenario for the Owls.
Shangwa with the serve. Nicholson sets Para, dug out nicely by Rice. There's the bump set for Para, goes to the tip. They go to the outside. Sam Hill with the swing, but the block right there. Roberson got it cleanly. Jalen Hill was over there as well.
I don't know. Let's see here. I think Roberson was so fired up. Was it for, it was for her teammate. So look at that. That was just a one hand completely on the ball. So that's why those players are so excited. On the TCU side, it feels good to block a hard swing like that.
Yeah, Roberson was celebrating like she got it.
I know.
But it was Gibson. Rice with the kill there.
And Samara Hill, another just very important player, 6 rotation player, big contributor for the Owls, front row, back row from the service line.
Tough ball to handle. Volpe had to go down and do the splits to get it, keep it off the board, off the floor. Now ball handling error on Rice. And Sam Hill lifted that ball up and over the net.
And I can see the argument that's going to happen with Coach Volpe and the ref. They called the setter, she's back row, so when the setter jumps to kind of save the ball and get it over, they're not allowed to do that when they're back row. Now the argument here, Melanie Parra hit the ball that seemed like it was right on the plane of the net. Well, was the setter back row or was Melanie Parra over? It's kind of a judgment call, but it'll stand.
Melanie Parra to serve. Tough ball to handle, but Rice does a good job. TCU had the block up, but it didn't matter as Lola Ford able to get that ball through it.
And, you know, good substitution call by Coach Volpe again, getting Ford in the game in the last set. And a different look, you know, so a different swing. TCU block might need to wait a little bit on her.
Becca Kelly tools it off the block.
And it's so easy for Becca Kelly. The in-system ball that is by the antenna. I mean, she's gonna swing down the line or she's gonna do that. So, you know, utilizing Kaya Mateo, 5'11" setter in front of her. So most hitters, when you see a setter in front of her, I'm gonna swing in her area.
Alice Volpe with the serve. There's the block by TCU. Sylvester talking about her blocking prowess.
And you see the celebration from all players. Let's take a look here. Evan Hendricks contributing up and over. By the way, Evan Hendricks sits at, I think it's 5'7", able to get up, 5'9", able to get up and over.
Mateo wins the joust for the Owls at the net. Samara Hill will serve. Nicholson sets Becca Kelly. Kelly now with 12 kills in the match.
And Kelly saw the opportunity at a little bit of a, I think it looked low to me, but hey, the fast swing, the fast set, it creates that opening. The blockers are not there to stop Becca Kelly.
Kelly had 11 kills yesterday against Denver. The triple block was up, and that time Cindy Shangwa tried to hit it over the block, or at least hit it off the block, just sent it high and into the crowd.
I mean, that's what I would do. If I see that three-person block in front of me, I would swing as high as I can.
Good job by Rice with the block up in front of her and able to score here.
And you don't see most middle blockers able to find the deeper part of the court, so really great location. Although it wasn't just a hard-driven kill, great placement by Caitlin Kenobi.
Nicholson sets the backside, and there's Becca Kelly again. Match point for TCU.
And, you know, I feel like we were here a few nights ago with Kelly on fire towards the end of the set. Horned Frogs looking to Kelly to get them to close the set here.
Bram Schreiber will serve for the match. Sends it long.
And we know from the last set, the Owls are capable of coming from behind. Although they didn't win that last set, they scored a lot of points, got themselves close.
Mateo with the serve, and she serves it out, and the match will end on the 11th service error of the day for the Owls. So it was a tough battle, but TCU able to stave off Rice and win it 3-1.
Difficult way to end a match on a missed serve, but definitely a hard-fought, great performance by the Rice Owls. I think they really gave TCU kind of a run for their money. They caught them off guard a lot throughout the match, but the Horned Frogs kept their tempo, kind of bounced back, and they had a great tournament.
So TCU sweeps their way through their pre-season or non-conference schedule. They've come out here at home 6-0 at home, Then they move to 8-2 on the year. So the Horned Frogs with a big victory. Power leads the way again with 24 kills. Becca Kelly had 13. Jalen Gibson with 12 for the Horned Frogs. Meanwhile, Chicago led it. Rice with 13. For Katie Carden, this is Chuck Lamadola saying so long from Fort Worth with the final TCU 3, Rice 1. This has been a presentation of ESPN.
Hello, here's a free sticker. Scan the code and receive 10% off of your...
I'm an advanced robotic helper. Do you need assistance?
Did you know I can assist with grocery shopping, banking, landscaping? On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate my performance? I will register that as a 10.
The Wild Robot, rated PG, in theaters Friday.
Ow! Who's that sexy thing I see over there? That's me, standing in the mirror. If I was you, I'd wanna be me too. 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 I'd wanna be me too.
It would be the best story, not only in tennis, but maybe in sports.
I looked different. I played different. I was something that no one had ever seen before.
What a wonderful atmosphere.
Nos ponemos las pilas, arranca el partido.
Somos los que siempre ganan.
This time I used help.
And it's in! Historic goal! Shoots and scores! Left-footed goal!
Every week, ESPN Plus brings you magic.
Yamal, he ignites the game.
World-class soccer all in one place. ESPN Plus, for the love of soccer.